What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for episode 23 of our Madden 24 Arizona Cardinals franchise mode, where today we have a fast matchup, Week 15, hosting the 7-6 Miami Dolphins, who are struggling offensively, to say the least, even though we know they have prolific players. They got a lot of speed, more speed than pretty much any team can handle. They are somehow, someway, the 25th ranked offense in the league, where we are really number one. And it's, a battle of two terrible defenses. So on any given day, if they can get right on offense, our defense, even though we do get sacks, even though we do get turnovers, everything else is not ideal. So points could be had. I think this game is going to be a shootout. Before we get into this matchup, we are going to take a look at my favorites board, the draft board that I've kind of set up for the college draft, to get a little bit familiar with the prospects and start throwing some feelers out there in terms of who we should be keying up on, because we are getting pretty late in the offseason. Like, this is around this time last year that we started to be like, do we get that tight end? Do we go Marcus House? Do we go at the top corner? And I like starting the discourse a little early so that when it comes to draft time, we've had a couple videos, had a couple comment sections worth of discussion about where we need to go with our players. That will be today's episode. In the next episode, I'm going to try... I don't want to hold it to this weekend because the Eagles are on bye. There might be a shot for Sunday. If not, it will be Monday. The next episode of the Cardinals franchise, we're going to play the final 3 games of the regular season. We have Week 16 against Seattle, Week 17 against the Patriots, and Week 18 against the Chicago Bears. We're going to put all 3 in one episode and finish out the regular season. So before we touch on the Miami Dolphins, let's take a look at my board. Now, in terms of needs of our squad, I guess we should set out the needs, because there is an element of like me just ticking best player available regardless of position. But I mean, taking a look at our squad, the players that are set to hit free agency, that are starters, that we're going to need to replace. We got Will Hernandez on the offensive line, Kaiser Wright at linebacker. Those are currently our only 2 starters that are out of contract right now. And I still might come to terms with the contract extension. I just feel like those are at positions, linebacker and guard, that I feel confident that I can draft players. I can draft successors. I can get a little cheaper at those positions because, again, looking big picture here, if Hernandez goes, we're going to need a guard. Even if we don't find a guard, I think John Gaines could potentially develop into a starter for us, 73, second-year player at a UCLA. I do think a successor at tackle for DJ Humphries is definitely in play. That is a position that I did put a lot of resource focus scouting throughout this season to get an upgrade over DJ Humphries. And it'd be one of those deals, too, at his age, at his play level, that if we did find a stud offensive tackle, let's say, I mean, he's a perfect trade candidate. Perfect in terms of it'll give us some cap relief. I think he's still desirable. It's not like he's washed. I think there'll be a market for him. So tackle and guard are 2 spots that I think we need to look at. I think we could also take a look. I mean, I think the rest of the offense is good. I mean, if there was an X factor, a true guy that reeked of Marcus House, we're like, this guy, we have to pick him at wide receiver. Maybe someone that's a little bit, on the bigger side. Pause. But, we got Claypool here. But, I mean, like a true guy that's going to come in with an X factor ability that's like 6'3", 6'4". And I will show you guys a wide receiver. Like, looks like he could be that type of guy. I think that's really the only other thing on offense that I will be looking for. But we have the number 1 offense in the league. So outside of, improving the offensive line, I think we're pretty good. The defense, however, outside of sacks, needs to get better. I think targeting for the defense, D-tackle is a spot we could always use more depth. Javon Kinlaw played a little bit above his rating last year. That's why we re-signed him after we'd made the trade with the 49ers to bring him over. This year's been a little quiet, and I will tell you right now, the defensive tackle draft class looks terrible. I did not see one defensive tackle that looked legit, so that's a little bit of a bummer. If we let Kaiser White walk, it is primarily Owen Papo and Zaven Collins on the field, as shown by the fact that, Papo and Collins both are in top 5 total tackles. Kaiser White is 30 tackles. So that third linebacker spot, when we let Kaiser walk, it's not make or break at all. They barely see the field, but it still is going to be a void, and I do think linebacker will be a need. I'm not worried about our safeties. I'm not concerned about our corners because they're getting production, but I do think, especially rolling the star dev on Kenny Hodges. I mean, he's playing well enough that he could potentially go up dev trade at the end of the season. Getting more abilities, getting more big-time playmakers, higher ceiling players in the secondary with, 3 guys all on star devs. There's a shot that we end the season even with, get robbed on a dev trait. 3-star devs. You can make the argument that getting a superstar, getting an X factor, which I mean everyone would want at corner would be a need. But generally speaking, there's not like it'll be guard, I suppose. Will be like the kind of glaring hole if we let Will Hernandez walk. So that in mind, we basically established there's no S tier need for our squad. There's definitely more reason to go BPA than it would be to reach for a need. So here are my current favorites. No quarterbacks. Did not see one quarterback. No running backs. No fullbacks. But we do got some wide receivers here. I got this UDFA slot because he has A catching. And there's always an opportunity when you get the A catching UDFA slot archetype, at least in Madden 23, that these guys were going to be ridiculous. It's really, really early in the process. But sometimes you get these UDFAs that are like 76 normal devs and stuff like that. And this guy here, Lucas Kowalski of Mizzou, has a chance to look like that. Then we got 2 speedsters at wide receiver. Again, if we want to complement the wide receiver room, we already have speed in Rondell Moore and Hollywood Brown. Those guys don't necessarily break that mold a lot. But Adonis Knight is interesting. 6'4", 231. So he's more than that Chase Claypool mold. A catching, B release. Still got to wait and see. Doesn't have, a chance at elite acceleration. This is one of those ones, if he had elite acceleration, elite speed in terms of at least his ceiling, I'd be like, this is going to be our pick. This guy looks absolutely insane. But definitely going to keep tabs on him. And if he tests well, runs like a 4.4 or something like that, I think Adonis Knight, plus that's a badass name, man. Adonis Knight. He is really, on the offensive side of the ball, skill position, the only guy that I think is truly like, it's kind of getting me up there a little bit. Offensive line. Now, this is where you can see firsthand that letter grades kind of deceive you. Because I was just like, man, look at these UDFAs. Oh, I saw this guy, Donovan Tyson, UDFA, 3 Bs. As a UDFA, I'd be drafted. And, they're UDFA talent players with these letter grades. Look at this guy, 3 As on Peter Lewis, still pulling a second, third round talent. Therefore, would be a little bit of a reach in the first round. So there are some tackles that look solid. Carl Nelson and A&M, 3 As. Bring off! Rasheem Jones going top 5. We're obviously not going to be picking top 5. But, yeah, we are going to, keep tabs on the tackles there to see if we can get someone that can come in and compete with Humphreys. Unfortunately, not a gigantic pool of guards to really improve and upgrade and let Will Hernandez go and be like, well, we got our guy 100% in the draft. But there are some prospects that look good. We have Eugene Rudd here out of Alabama, 3 Bs and an A. We have Trevor Hurst. Looks like a little bit more of a value pick here in the 3rd, 4th round, an A, but he has B pass block, B run block. So that's similar to Eugene Rudd. And for Hurst, looking at the physicals, opportunity, man, look at the athleticism, potential, acceleration, agility, change of direction, great strength too. So that means he'll probably put up at least 30-some reps on the bench press. I think this guy here, that's going to be our guard. The guy that's 100% attainable that I will overdraft so far on the offensive side of the ball is going to be Trevor Hurst. So, thinking about it in my head, how I'm going to map out the draft, 2nd round, 3rd round, maybe we have to trade up in the 3rd round. Hurst is a clear cut, circle the board. I want that guy. Look at the right tackles. Doesn't get a whole lot better. I do think, again, we're in a scenario where the letter grades are lying to us a little bit because these look awesome. I do a lot of rebuilds, and a lot of times if I see AA and a B, AA, double B, I'm thinking that guy's going to be a steal. No! Look at this. 2nd, 3rd round projection, 3rd, 4th round talent. So that is a tough role here. Another guy. That guy looks legit, but he's a 3rd, 4th round talent. But we do have Terry Queenan out of Oklahoma State, at least a 1st round talent on a 1st round projected offensive line. 3 A's there, has C, pass block. So I guess we could throw him into the mix of potential tackles that can come in and challenge and eventually succeed DJ Humphreys. On the defensive side of the ball, this is not like a cheesy draft class. Sometimes you get a draft class where there's 15, 20 people I would love to have. Not necessarily the case, which I guess is kind of lame here. We have a top 5 just because he looks like he's a good player, but for the most part, we're not going to be picking top 5. These guys don't matter. We have Matthew Moore here, 6'5", 290, pass rusher out of Florida State, A tackle, B power, B block shed, but he's a little bit tweener at 6'5", 290, maybe a little big for our scheme, but it could work. Angela Richards looks like he's probably going to be the best player in the draft class. A power, A tackle, 6'3", 277, has a shot at elite. This would be the guy, if we're trading up. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's projected to go 1st overall right now. But if we were to trade up for a pass rusher to get someone that could upgrade over Boogie Basham, who's playing fine, but Obviously, you know, he's not Ojulari's level or near Ojulari's ceiling. I think Angelo Richards is probably the trade-up candidate for this draft, especially if he ends up testing with the elite accelerations, speed, and strength. He looks like an absolute monster. And I would say right now, if he's like one of those guys that somehow maybe gets passed up for a quarterback, goes third, fourth, you know, closer to 5 than it is 1, absolutely, I'm going to be in with trading up. No D tackles. D tackles was a spot I thought we could add some depth. There's literally no good. I'll just show you. No, like, maybe something will pop after the combine, but I am not seeing a D tackle that looks legitimate. Outside of, like, just drafting, like, this guy, because he's 330 pounds, it's like a tried, tested, and true type prospect, or Ja Riddick, who's 384, and they're, you know, those guys are probably going to be like 70s. Don't really need any of those guys, man. Don't really need any of them. Does look like it's a solid draft class for linebackers, for that Kaiser White. Don't really need it, but could go out and get it type player. We have Richmond, Silas, and Griffin. All these guys, decent letter grades, and they all have ceilings of elite in speed and acceleration, which is what you really want to look for off-ball linebackers. Nasir Woods has been a pass rusher that we've been scouting. If we didn't want to trade up, maybe have a pass rusher that could potentially fall into our lap, he is that candidate with a tackle, a pursuit, chance at elite acceleration, speed, and strength, which I think are the 3 most important stats there for a pass rusher. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on there. You know, rest of the linebackers, a couple more off-ball linebackers with ceilings of elite speed and acceleration. Now, we're using the Mr. Hurricane suggestions for draft classes, so I did nerf the corners just because, you know, corner draft classes, if you just go default, they're always good. There's always like 7, 8 guys that are 75 plus. So you knock that down to less. Basically, you nerf it 1 grade. And I'm definitely feeling it because there's usually I can, if I can't find anything, I could go right to the corners and find 2 or 3 corners that for sure are going to be hits. Wasn't really the case, but the best, I think, is Kelvin Lovelock here. B-press, B-zone coverage, 6 feet out of Notre Dame, with what looks to be a pretty solid athletic profile. We got a couple safeties here. Don't really need safeties. That's just more so if we get into a BP situation where we're late first round, which is likely we're going to be selecting. You know, we could add more safety help, more safety depth, get that 3rd safety, 4th safety. You can never have enough. Maybe gives us some future trade bait, if you will. But I will say, generally speaking, not a ridiculous draft class. I think if we're talking about, like, can we just find who's going to be the best player? Who's going to be a shot, like, worth trading up for? X factor, highly confident that he will. I think it's going to be Angelo Richards, the pass rusher out of Washington State. But, you know, we traded up for a house last year. Is that something we really want to get into a rhythm of doing every offseason? Just, I don't necessarily want to say cheesing, because we are going to have to pay a price. We're not going to be able to get out. I have the trades in this franchise set to, like, difficult. But, you know, I'm all about getting exciting players, getting the best player possible. And I think Angelo Richards is going to be that guy. And if not, someone like Nasir Woods, if we want to get that pass rusher. And I just think in terms of steals, I love finding steals. I feel like last year's draft class, there's 3-4 guys outside of the first 2 rounds that I was circling. I was like, these guys are going to be our targets. I will overdraft these guys. And the fact for this draft class, I only have 1 of those players in Trevor Hurst, the guard, 3rd, 4th round. I think it's just the nature of this draft class, fellas. It's not the best. But maybe it'll be all right. So I think that's the last piece from the draft class is where's the most recent mock draft? Have Richards going. So we're at mock draft 2, and he's currently projected to go 3rd. You have Jones here, 3As at offensive tackle. I don't think tackle's a big enough need for me to have to trade up. You can almost make the argument. I don't think edge rusher, pass rusher is a big enough need for us to trade up and whatever kind of package deal it would take to get up to pick 3. For example, if this stays as is. But we're definitely going to continue to keep tabs on Angelo Richards because he's giving me butterflies in the old stomach in terms of just how damn good I think he could be. So now it's time to put all of our focus towards Dolphins week, a matchup that I can assume is going to be pretty high scoring, even though the Dolphins have been underperforming a little bit this year. And how they like to attack, well, it's dink and dunks with Tua, so we're going to take that away. How do we attack their defense? They are pretty good at takeaways, so we need to protect the football a little bit. They got Jalen Ramsey out there. They run a lot of zone. I think we go through it short. Pick apart their zone. Find the open space. Let's see if I can get a goddamn gold medal for Kyler Murray. And then let's go in and handle our business and prove why, even though our defense is terrible, we are the best team in the NFL. I told you I'd get the hang of this drill. I think this is going to be our easiest drill to cheese the golds to try and get the dev trait for Kyler Murray, which, as you can see, you just can't miss an early read when you're kind of building up this multiplier. That's what we did the first time we messed it up. But it also helps having Calvin Austin because there is nobody on this Cardinals defense that once we hit the edge with Calvin Austin. I mean, yeah, we saw last episode. There's not a lot of people in this league that when you hit the edge with Calvin Austin, they're going to be able to keep speed with him. But I think this is going to be the easiest way for us to stack the golds there for Kyler Murray. Maybe that's a reflection of myself because I'm not the best at those drills. But I'm going to see if we can stack a couple weeks of this and get Kyler Murray the deserved dev trait upgrade that he needs. Just because I got points here. We got 39. Ben Johnson's tree. I was thinking about just working our way down here to get the quarterback boost. And maybe just because he's an offensive coach, spend the points in offensive development. But I have no plans on firing him. So I think it's worth just going best upgrades possible. And I think with our young secondary, led by our first pick, I think going a 20 right here for corner, getting the nice little corner boost. And I might actually hit it again to see if we can get him a 10% training boost. We'll go a long way in Kenny Hodges' development, which, you know, it's going to take a minute to get down to tight ends. Can I even get tight ends? Right there. So, I mean, you know, a little bit of give and both. We're already at 2 out of 3 for Marcus House. Let's give Kenny Hodges some love on his development. Oh, no. This is going to be a problem. I think the Dolphins are a really, really bad matchup for us. And our really only advantage would be winning the line of scrimmage. I don't think they have an elite offensive line. We're going to need Ojulari to get home. If not, if Tua has a pocket like that, where he has almost fucking 10 yards of space, it is going to be an incredibly long day. Oh my God, we just couldn't have botched that anymore. Pablo had a free... Okay. That was Tyreek or Jalen Waddle or Raheem Mostert or David Achan or however the hell he wants to go by. I would believe it. But, I mean, it shouldn't have even got to that point. Ryan Dahl, I'm sure, who's probably, what, a 68 fullback. Just, I mean, I'll give it up to him. That was a sick touchdown. But I can't even complain about anything we just saw there because we should have had Tua dead for right for a sack with Papo. We already got the squiggly lines. Come on, it's been a drive. I'm going to go house straight here. That's going to get jumped. The confidence in the best receiver in the league makes you do dumb things. And we could not have started any worse. I think that was 3 games in a row, too. We had no picks with Kyler Murray, and we just... First pass of the day. Brutal. All right, let's just get home. Let's just get home. Like that, we get home, and he still can find a freaking receiver. 20 yards. This should be a bend, don't break, hole into a field goal type deal. But they do have 3 plays to get 20 yards. And with how explosive the freaking offense is, I think there was a foot out of bounds there. First of all, how is he that open? Second of all, what? Can't challenge it? That looked very much... Okay, first of all, this is like the most Madden touchdown ever because no one's running full speed like that and then stopping, like having that motion. Like, that's so unnatural, but it's all Madden. You get shit like that. Should be probably punished as well for throwing a terrible interception. Okay, sack too, okay. We just need to run the ball 40 times. Hey, squiggly line. This is terrible. This is like, I wish I banked like a mulligan of just to restart the game. Because this couldn't have been and or started any worse, and it's not getting any better. There we go. Make no mistake. Papo won't rob us twice. Brutal miss in the first drive. Makes up for it there. Gets off the field. 3rd and 1. Come on. Let's get a drive going here. Just get the first down, Bonds. And he gets hurt. Perfect. Luckily, I mean, I don't want to say luckily, because Rosemont Bonds, even with Calvin Austin being awesome, I still want Bonds to be my RB1. But Calvin Austin is definitely capable. It's a bruised sternum. That doesn't sound too serious. Probably just a game. So it's going to be the Calvin Austin show. It's fine. I'm confident. He can lead the line here. He can get us 100 yards. Got the speed to match up with the Dolphins' speed. Third and 2, and I mean, down 14. I don't want to say we're 4 down territory, but I think we're probably 4 down territory here. Definitely need a better run than what that just was. All right, this is why we're aggressive. Can't say you're aggressive and not try to just... There we go, safe gap. There we go, safe grab. Just move the chains. Good job, Rondale. Classic! Awesome! Again, I'm using a wide receiver at running back. Fumbles are going to happen. Of course it happened now. Hasn't fumbled on 100 carries all year. But no, down 14. Why not? Not only down 14, and he has to be our starter because Bonds went down to injury. Fuck off. There we go. Hey, Ojulari. That is what we needed, man. Defense is bailing us out right now. Offensively, got to get something going. 2 turnovers and counting, it feels like. Let's go, Alberto. Hidden weapon, secret weapon, whatever you want to call it. I hope he's in real life, too, because Dallas Goedert just got a pretty significant injury, and Alberto is next up. For my beloved Philadelphia Eagles, I'd love to see... Obviously, I would love the Eagles to have freaking House. But I think Alberto, man, hopefully he's... Even if he's just like a quarter as good as he is for us in Madden, we good for Philly. Oh, close. We didn't get smashed. I think that would have been a big gain. And that is going to set up. My center's hurt again. He's got hurt almost every game this season. Just absolutely brutal. Now we're 3rd and 9. I mean, if we were in 4 down territory before, I'm not going to rule it out. What was that? Throw it quick inside the Rondale. Inaccurate throw. I'm going to go 4 verts and just see if we get any press. Like, of course, House. If that was House in the slot. But I think we got to go for this. Really, 4th and 9, though. Screw it. Oh! Yes! Outright. And Jalen Phillips is going to be one of the bigger, faster outside linebackers in the NFL. What a play by Kyler Murray. We're going to try to get a quick throw off here to 2, Hollywood Brown. If he can get open. We'll just get smashed. Kind of get open. Even then, Jalen Ramsey right behind him. If that wasn't accurate, Ramsey, I'm sure, would pick that off. Okay, 3rd and 10. I will take the points here to get something on board, but we need a touchdown here. And, yep, just getting smashed in the pocket. Anytime we stay there, I think we get on the board. Because we get the ball to start the second half. Yeah. Chance get out the field here. 3rd and 3, man. Our defense, even though they gave up 14 early. Jump! Just jump! God damn, I mean, Tyreek Hill on a linebacker, but come on, Kaiser, just jump! Give me the super linebacker. Jump with the eyes on your back of your head, PBU, please. They get it. There we go. Second sack. Ojulari. That's an absolute matchup for us. Not a whole lot on our defense. Even though our defense is playing well, they have a lot of advantages, the Dolphins, but I think our big advantage is Ojulari. He needs to keep eating it up. Now we got a 3rd and 13 X Factor activated for Ojulari. I just called a timeout. So hopefully, if they get a first down, we just spotted them a timeout. And they're going to get it because there's a wide open 2-2 Atwell. Oh! Tua's good for a brain fart every now and again. Throws it into double coverage on Tyreek. I know Tyreek's good. He's not that good at Marco Wilson. Is that his 6th pick of the year? It's up there. Can we get points with the minute 10? Probably not with how well we played, but ooh. We're getting fuck. Actually, I want to audible back to our original play because I was going to say we got press. But Jalen Ramsey on Hollywood Brown is not a great matchup. But Albert O doing Albert O things. Let's go midfield. 3rd and 8. Long-ish field goal range. What are these throws that we're getting out of Kyler Murray, man? Is he that affected by this pressure? What's the length on this one? 67 win. Got a superstar kicker. My best kick. God damn it, man. I think, yeah, we kicked that a little bit better. That's in. And that is our 2nd miss of the year. Oh, hit the post. The question is, are the Dolphins going to get points on this side of halftime? And the answer is likely a yes. But they nail it. Oh, yes! He's making up for the fumble. What a play. We had to score, really, on the opening drive of the second half. I felt like that. Like, have any confidence whatsoever. We would have stalled out that drive. Would have been butt cheeks. But Calvin Austin comes in the clutch. We cut the lead to 7. Hat trick. Nice little hat trick. Man, Ojulari is going for the sack title this year. He is beating Matt Pert like a drum at right tackle. He wins again. And let's get this. Oh, that was close to a safety. Get off the field, though. All momentum with the Cardinals start the second half. But that probably should have finished that one off. I thought that was picked. I literally thought, I was just like, oh, fuck, pick 6. Nope. Marcus House, unstoppable. Hate that House is just always off the field, but we got Albert O. Oh, he drops it. He just doesn't have the catch, and I don't think to hold on to the, the kind of grab that's required down here in the red zone. All right, let's try it again. 3rd and goal. No. Hey, it would be nice if we had our 6'5" unstoppable tight end on the field, but he got tired. So he's on the sideline getting oxygen, and our offense stalls. We'll take the points. We don't have the squiggly line, so actually I can use the linebackers with confidence, but those are Larry winning the way he's winning. Just keep it on him, man. Just keep it on him. 4 and counting. He is unstoppable. And 2 is hurt. He's not. Why is he not on the field? He's never on the field. Unless, I'm going to check it after this. Unless he has, 70 stamina, something, glaringly, okay, that kind of makes sense. Do I need to adjust, the sliders or something? Because get on the field. You should, take a play or 2 off, sure. He is off for, drives, entire drives. We got guys like Zach Kuntz making plays for the offense. Look, we got Alberto still. Where's House? Where is he? I'm looking at this right now because I can see it in here. Why in the like? No one else has this. No one else gets hit with it. What is your stamina? 84. Does anyone know how to fix this? I hate that play call too. Too much going on for that short of a field. Like, can I go by player and, like, get... The fuck is this? Like, is this like a known glitch or bug? Like, he's the leading receiver in the league and he's barely on the field. Imagine if he was out there all the time. St. Claypool on a slant. Just get some of those yards back. He's just not out there. Okay, cool. If he's not out there, that means I get a free pass to slant Rondell Moore here. 70, great block, 70. Appreciate that. Why aren't you on? Why is my best player not on the field? Cut the lead to 1. And their offensive line is definitely letting the Dolphins down. They should not be allowing us to dominate the line of scrimmage like we are here today. Ojulari back in his X factor. 3rd and 9. You're looking for his 5th sack of the day. Oh, and he gets the fumble. Let's go. He's unstoppable. He is absolutely... they turned the lights off. That's how unstoppable Ojulari is. Holy shit, what a performance. Win, lose, or draw. He's putting up an all-timer. And just see why I lose my... Oh, he's back on the field. Yes. It's a favorable matchup. Just take it in ourselves. At least get the first down ourselves. Let's go, James Conner. He punches it in. The Cardinals have the lead. And I want to say somehow, because I feel like we haven't played particularly well. But it's absolutely been the defense, giving our offense a lot of good opportunities here. And James Conner, maybe a forgotten man in this backfield, gets a nice little power tutty, short yardage. We're going to go for 2. It's House, finally on the field making plays. Surprise, surprise. There we go. Push them back. I think they got to go for this. 4th and 4 on their 31. They do have all their timeouts. That's a lot of faith in their defense to get a stop. Yes! Make them work for it, man. We're not playing like pussies. We're not going to try to run. You know, they would have just got the ball and scored. Make them stop us. That's easy. Oh, I said that's easy. First down. They get the stop. Third one of their timeouts. 3rd and 1. Whoa. Whoa, it's just... I mean, Albert, how many more people are going to get hurt today? But this one, you know, some of the other wins against teams we're expected to win. This feels like a playoff victory. Miami, a talented enough team that we would see in the playoffs, and this is something that we definitely could add to our resume of regular season wins that we feel real good about in terms of like getting an idea of where this squad is, how far they could go. Dolphins are one of the most talented teams, especially from the AFC side of the bracket, and you know, down our starting running back. For some reason, our best player was off the field for like most of the 3rd quarter, it felt like. It's Ojulari. B.J. Ojulari with 5 sacks. The offense getting plays when we needed them, even though it wasn't pretty with the fumbles and stuff. Kick this field goal, get this win. You know what? I'll give them time. I don't want to sit here and wait for 40 seconds. I'll kick it and play some defense. I want to get more sacks. I want to try to get that record for Ojulari. we go. Take the knee. Professional victory. Professional victory right there. Let's go, baby, man. You know, outside of the injury status of Roosevelt Bonds, which, I'm going to guess that he'll be back next week. This might be my favorite win of the year because we endured, like, that couldn't have started. We spotted them 14 points. We missed the field goal, doinked it. Like, it just felt like everything was going to go wrong. And all it took was Ojulari to take this game over and absolutely dominate. Kyler Murray, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Thought he was good. Pick was not great. 96 yards for Calvin Austin. Obviously filling in. Not ideal with the fumble there, but it's kind of what you got to expect with a 5'9", 162-pound running back. Every now and again, he's going to make a mistake. James Conner with the tutty. Kyler Murray got a couple big scrambles there. None more big. 4th and 9. Outruns Jalen Phillips for the first down. It was huge. And hopefully the injury for Roosevelt Bonds not serious. Calvin Austin, just complete weapon, man. Almost 200 yards from scrimmage. Actually, literally 200 on the dot. Yards from scrimmage. House at 85 yards. Just wish he was out there more. Would very much appreciate that. Alberto stepped up. He also picked up an injury. Defensively, though, Ojulari, 5 tackles, 5 TFLs, 5 sacks. Thomas and Papa also. And I think Papa's getting pretty close to double-digit sacks on the year. But Ojulari, man, truly a special pass rusher. 2 interceptions, both in the end zone. So there's 14 points right there off the board for the Dolphins. That would have given them the lead if they didn't have those turnovers. So both teams had 2 turnovers. Luckily, we were able to make more plays to compensate for said turnovers. But that was a huge win, man. Huge, huge win. Our 2 stars getting upgrades off the performance. 200 yards from scrimmage for Mr. Austin. And I think I want to spend these into, like, receiving back. That kind of goes and caters more to his wide receiver skill set. I feel like we go elusive. You probably get better to get actual running back attributes and upgrades there. And Ojulari, 5 sack performance. What a player he has developed into. And wins off of Dallas and Miami puts us to 11-3, which we're 1 win away from locking up the division right now. We have that gap between us and the Niners. Are we the 1 seed still? We are the 1 seed. We've locked up a playoff spot. But this team's good. This team is very good. And I'm almost patting myself on the back. The fact that we're doing this. We could have took the easy route. Could have been like, man, this game's too hard. I'm going to go play on All-Pro and Justified. We'll make a tough set of all. But no, we've stayed here, clanged and banged on all Madden. And with a solid team, we've developed right before our very eyes in this season we could win. We could win it all here in year 2. But off of that 27-17 victory over the Dolphins, player of the week, Ojulari, 5 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 5 TFLs. Dominant. Very, very dominant, which, where does that bring him on the year? I'll give him a little respect, and we'll gas him up a little bit looking at his total sacks, because he's up there. Kyler's looking pretty good stat-wise. They got the good, 3-headed, 4-headed rushing attack. House is crushing again. Wish he was out there. If he was out there more, he'd probably have 1,600 yards and 12 or 13 touchdowns. Rondale might have a shot at 1,000. It's just our passing offense has kind of cooled off a little bit the last couple weeks. Defensively, though, look at this. Owen Papo's at 18 TFLs, 8 sacks. Ojulari is at 26 TFLs, 19 sacks, with his eyes on the record with 3 games to go. And from the fall in the game, nothing really to concern about injuries. Roosevelt Bonds is back in the lineup, so that is good news. And that sets up a very nice final episode of the regular season. Whenever I see you next, it's probably going to be Monday. It will be a triple header. We'll have the Seattle game. We'll have the Patriots game. We'll have the Bears game. We'll see if we can lock up the West. We'll see if we can break some records. And we will set up everything to recap and get everything good so that in 2 episodes' time, we will start our playoff journey as we found out today. We've already locked in the playoffs, but I love this team, man. Very, very happy. Even though we're a little bit ahead of schedule, I thought maybe, going year 3, maybe year 4, probably more so year 3, especially with the draft we just had, we'd be playing like this. So we're ahead of schedule, and it's awesome. Hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am playing it right now. So thank you guys very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace. I love you. Have a good one. See you tomorrow for a Commanders rebuild on the channel.